feel like I'm being forced to choose between growing my business and securing my future. That's what Zack told me right before he discovered a strategy that changed everything. Today, we're breaking down the retirement planning rules that maybe are secretly sabotaging business owners in their prime years. And again, there's a challenge between planning for the future and growing a business.
In a world where chaos seems to reign supreme, where uncertainty lurks around every corner, and financial markets are now more unpredictable than ever, there's one place you can turn to find clarity and control. Welcome to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast.
Hey, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Amanda.
Join us as we dive deep in the world of personal and business finance
to assist you in navigating through the chaos and building the financial future you deserve.
We believe when conventional financial thinking doesn't get you where you want to go,
you need wealth wisdom.
So if you're ready to take control of your financial destiny,
tune in to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast.
Because in a chaotic world, your money shouldn't be.
Subscribe now and never miss an episode.
Okay, stay to the end of this episode for a very special announcement. Yes, we're going to make you wait for it. For now, we want to start today's episode with a story that might sound familiar to many of you. And it's Zack's story. Brandon's going to tell us about it.
So Zack launched his digital marketing agency about 6 years ago. And at 32, he had already built it into a 7-figure business with 12 employees. That's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, especially for a marketing business.
Right. And he was doing everything right.
Quote unquote, right.
Yeah. According to the conventional wisdom. And you know how we like conventional wisdom. And he was maxing out his SEP IRA, contributing to a 401k, and diligently saving for that distant retirement day. Then an unexpected opportunity landed in his lap. A competitor with complementary services and an established client base was looking to sell. The asking price, $450,000, a steal for the value it would bring to Zack's business. There was just one problem. Most of Zack's liquid capital was locked inside retirement accounts. He could see the opportunity just slipping away. Taking an early withdrawal would trigger taxes and penalties. Getting a bank loan would take too long and came with strings attached. He said, I realized that I had been saving for a future at the expense of my present. What good is a well-funded retirement if I miss the chances to grow my business now?
Yeah, so this is a dilemma so many of us face as business owners. The traditional retirement advice we hear everywhere is designed for employees, not entrepreneurs. Let me say that again. If you're hearing retirement advice, traditional retirement advice, you have to know the design of it. The 401k, designed for employees. The IRA, designed for employees. The Roth IRA, designed for employees, not entrepreneurs. That traditional retirement advice assumes you will want to work until a certain age, then suddenly stop. It assumes your income will follow a predictable pattern. It assumes you'll want to lock your money away where you can't touch it for decades, because most people don't have the discipline to do that, right?
Yep.
But those assumptions just don't fit in the reality of owning a business, do they?
No, it hasn't for me. So Zack's story illuminates a fundamental truth. Business owners need a different approach to retirement planning. Again, I don't know if I like that word retirement planning, but let's say future planning. The conventional rules were created for the conventional path, which isn't the path you've chosen if you're probably listening to this podcast and if you're a business owner. You're trying to track your own path.
Yeah, so think about it. Traditional retirement planning pushes 3 core ideas. 1, max out tax advantage retirement accounts. 2, keep contributing consistently until target retirement age. And 3, then and only then withdraw gradually to replace your former income. This works great Ish.
Maybe. Yeah.
But in theory, works for if you're an employee with predictable income who wants to stop working at, say, 65. But as business owners, we have so many different needs and opportunities.
So what happened to Zach? He ended up passing on that acquisition because his money was trapped. 6 months later, a larger agency swooped in, bought his competitor, and now he's facing much stiffer competition in his market. His responsible retirement planning actually made his business more vulnerable. And a more vulnerable business means a more vulnerable future, no matter how much is sitting in that SEP IRA or 401k.
Yeah, and Zach's not alone. We meet business owners all the time who feel this tension. They're building successful companies while simultaneously being told that they need to lock away their capital where they can't access it without penalties. It's like being forced to drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake.
Who drives that way?
Not me.
Yeah.
But what if there was a way to save for the future that actually strengthened your business rather than competing with it?
This is where what we love, the banking yourself infinite banking strategy, comes in. Before I explain what it is, let me tell you what it did for Maya, who runs a thriving event planning business.
I should tell them Maya's story. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, so when Maya learned about banking herself, she was skeptical. She already had a 401k. She'd been told by numerous financial advisors it was the quote unquote right way to save for retirement. But she was frustrated by how her retirement strategy limited her flexibility as a business owner. So she decided to redirect part of her retirement contributions into a properly structured banking yourself type policy. And within 3 years, she'd built up some pretty significant cash value. She's feeling really good about it. Then the unexpected happened. Her biggest client, a hotel chain, experienced a serious cash flow problem and couldn't pay her $78,000 invoice for 3 major events she'd already executed.
I've heard that so many times from clients.
Yeah. So rather than taking on high interest debt or raiding her emergency fund, Maya borrowed against her policy's cash value. She paid her vendors on time. She kept her employed. She maintained her company's sterling reputation while her client worked through their issues. And then finally, when the client repaid 3 months later, Maya repaid her policy loan, essentially paying herself back with interest instead of a bank. This, part of her retirement strategy actually helped her navigate a business crisis rather than sitting untouchable on the sidelines, forcing her to use other funds that were for other purposes or from a bank where she'd pay high interest, right? This is the fundamental shift in thinking that successful business owners are making more and more. They're moving from siloed retirement accounts that compete with your business to financial strategies that complement it and actually help you do business better. We're going to talk more about that after the break.
Ready to take the next step towards securing your financial future? Whether you're planning for retirement, saving for your dream home, or you just want to make your money work harder for you, the team at Wealth Wisdom Financial are ready to assist you. And now, it's easier than ever to see how we might give you a boost on your financial journey.
Schedule a 15-minute discovery call with one of us today.
And let's discuss your questions and your financial goals together.
Don't wait any longer. Your financial freedom awaits. Schedule your discovery call at www.wealthwisdomfp.com/call.
Now I can already hear some objections forming. Isn't banking yourself just whole life insurance? I've heard that's a terrible investment. The misunderstanding stems from comparing apples to oranges. I don't even know who writes this stuff. Many think they know that what banking yourself is, or maybe what they think infinite banking is, but they don't know what they don't know. If we come across another person who says they can do banking with IUL, Index Universal Life, we may just flip because it's all over the internet. And actually, according to Nelson Nash's book, Become Your Own Banker, We don't do that. That just doesn't work. The banking yourself strategy uses a specific type of dividend paying whole life insurance that's structured very differently from the policies most financial gurus criticize. But it's not universal life. And it's not what Dave Ramsey will harp on.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
A properly designed banking yourself policy minimizes the insurance component and maximizes the cash value component. It's engineered to build cash value quickly that you can access when you need it. And you could do it within 30 days of funding the policy.
Yeah. So critics often say, just buy term and invest the difference. That might make sense for someone with a steady paycheck and no business opportunities to fund. Maybe, possibly. We could argue that one too. We think they could use Bank on Yourself too, right? But for business owners, or through our focus today, having capital accessible without penalties or permissions can be the difference between seizing an opportunity or watching it pass by. For business owners, Bank on Yourself has a power that someone with a steady payment and a paycheck might not ever experience, because they might not get that opportunity. They might not have that chance to grow their business in that kind of way. And if you have your money in an investment, sometimes we all know, I think we know, that the biggest opportunities often happen when there's some kind of bubble burst or some kind of downturn in some kind of market somewhere. And often it has ripple effects that impact the rest of the market. And when you have that opportunity to now buy someone else's business, make a big purchase, equipment, because somebody else is going out of business, things like that. If your money's in a brokerage account because you bought term and invested the difference, it may or may not be there to do that opportunity.
Yep.
Whereas if you have it in a safe place that's growing predictably and with some guarantees backed by an insurance company that's been in business, and not only been in business, but been profitable for over 100 years, that becomes a totally different story. When the next downturn and the next recession hits, you still have the money to take advantage of the opportunity. We got one more story that kind of helps illustrate this.
So we have Elijah. He runs a commercial cleaning service that he started right out of college. I mean, this guy was smart.
Yep.
He's now in his late 30s with 50 plus employees and several major corporate contracts. For years, he followed conventional advice and maxed out his retirement account. I said he was smart, but maybe, I don't know.
Quote, like traditional smart.
Yeah. But then he learned about banking yourself and he became smarter and redirected some of his retirement savings into a properly structured policy. Last year, when one of the major competitors was struggling due to high inflation and difficulty hiring, Elijah saw an opportunity. Anybody experience that inflation thing?
Or difficulty hiring?
Yeah. Using the cash value he had built up, he was able to make a quick acquisition offer without going through banks or investors. He acquired valuable contracts and equipment at a fraction of their worth and hired several experienced staff members. His business grew by 40% in 6 months, and because he borrowed against his policy rather than withdrawing from retirement accounts, he avoided taxes and penalties while keeping his long-term financial plan intact. The most important part, Elijah told me, I used to see my retirement planning as saving for some distant future when I'd stop working. Now I see it as building a financial foundation that makes my business stronger today while we still are securing my future now. I don't know how to say that. Not future.
Securing tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
So this is the mindset shift that can transform how business owners approach retirement planning. And here's something most business owners don't consider until it's too late. If you have ventured off into checking your email or staring at the road or seeing all the people in the gym around you, come back to us. This is something that is very different for business owners than it is for employees. When you eventually sell your business or step back from day-to-day operations, even if you maintain ownership, right, pass it on to your kids, sell it to an employee, something like that, you'll lose many of the tax deductions you currently enjoy. We all know as business owners, the tax code is in our favor. We get lots of tax deductions, whether you're investing in real estate, you have a marketing company, a cleaning company, whatever it is. You know those. Hopefully you're using those in
Yep.
coordination with your
And
tax
it, and
professional.
if and if you aren't using them, come talk to us. We might have some ideas for you.
Yeah. But you can imagine if you're now not running your business or you don't own your business, all those that you lose. Just
Mhm.
think, like, make a mental list right now. You could probably think of three, like snippety snap. And when you lose those deductions, this often pushes business owners into a higher effective tax bracket in retirement than they had during their working years. So now, if you've taken all those tax deductions during your working years to fund a traditional retirement account that you pay taxes on later,
Yep.
you're now in a higher tax bracket later and you're paying higher taxes. So all that money you thought you were saving, you're now paying even more than you saved. However, with Bank on Yourself under current law, your retirement income can be structured to be tax-free. That's pretty cool. That gives you so much more control over your tax situation when you need it most.
Yep.
So just have that, you don't want to just be thinking each year how to save the most in taxes, but how do you save the most in taxes over your lifetime? And often having a Bank on Yourself as part of that portfolio, part of that strategy makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox there.
I mean, I do think that's important, not just saving taxes now, but for your whole life is a big thing that a lot of times CPAs just we just talk about now.
Right, they want to look
And
good by
yeah,
having you cut a lower check right now.
and so I think
And where are they going to be in 30 years?
it's a both and, not
Right.
a either or.
Yep.
So the stories of Zack, Maya, and Elijah highlighted a crucial truth. As business owners, we need financial strategies that match our entrepreneurial realities. Traditional retirement planning asks us to separate our business growth from our personal financial security. It forces us to choose between opportunities today and security, whatever that means, for tomorrow. But the bank on yourself approach recognizes that for entrepreneurs, business success and personal financial security are deeply interconnected. It gives you that flexibility and strength your businesses need when opportunities arise while still building a secure financial foundation for the future.
Now, we're not saying reject traditional retirement vehicles entirely. It's about creating balance, options in your financial strategy, just as you do in your business. We're told to diversify. This is a way to diversify, right? And for business owners, in a way that helps build your business, not detract from it. The business owners we work with who've embraced this approach share this common sentiment. For the first time in their entire business life, they feel like their retirement strategy and their business growth are working together,
Yep.
not competing with each other for their time, their attention, and their dollars. And isn't that how it should be? After all, building a successful business is one of the most powerful wealth creation tools available.
Also, it's, I would say, one of the hardest, right?
Right,
So,
right. One of the hardest, but also one of the most powerful
Yep.
wealth creation tools available. Your retirement strategy should enhance that power, maybe even make it easier,
Yep.
not harder, and definitely not restrict the power of building wealth through business creation and growth.
So if you're wondering how banking yourself strategy might work for your specific situation, we've created a special for you. This Wednesday, I'm sharing my business owner's retirement readiness checklist that will help you evaluate your current plan and identify potential gaps and opportunities.
It includes 7 critical questions every business owner needs to answer about their retirement strategy, plus a simple calculator to determine if you're on track to your desired lifestyle. Just head to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Community to access this resource as a premium member. You also get our full library of resources and monthly group coaching as part of that. And if you want a personalized analysis, you can schedule a 15-minute call to see if we might be a good fit to work together. You schedule that at wealthwisdomfp.com/call. And actually, bonus tip, if you've never scheduled a 15-minute call with us, go to that wealthwisdomfp.com/call, schedule that 15-minute call, and you'll receive a couple gifts by email before the call. One of them includes some free access to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Community so that you can make this an amazing summer for you and for your business.
Now, because retirement planning for business owners shouldn't mean sacrificing growth today for security tomorrow, you can have both if you have the right strategy.
And we'd love to help you build that strategy. Schedule that call, wealthwisdomfp.com/call. The link's also in the show notes. Now we ready for that special announcement?
Yeah, there's something big that we've been cooking up, and we would love to see you at it. So
yeah,
that's
so here we go. Drum roll, please. We're hosting a freedom retreat for business owners in August of 2025. If you're catching this and you're serious about using your business to create financial, relational, emotional, mental, and spiritual freedom, then we want you to be there. You can text the word freedom to 513-447-6501, and we'd love to share more. Again, text freedom to 513-447-6501. This is an intimate retreat. It's designed to set the stage for finishing 2025 well and having your freedom trajectory for at least 12 months. Space is limited. I think when we're recording this, there's only a few spots left. So please reach out today. Again, text the word freedom to 513-447-6501.
Yeah, we'd love it. I know it's going to be a lot of fun at that event. And again, interconnecting all of these things because you want to have financial freedom, business freedom, time freedom, all those kind of things together. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and live long and profit. Write a comment. Love to hear from you. Remember, the stories in today's episodes are fictional and do not depict any actual person or event. The topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purpose of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation.